A man with a strange woman, Rylan had always been a solitary man. On the fringes of human colonies, yet where the sterile gleam of glass and steel met the endless void of the outer rim, he found comfort in routine. He tended the hydroponic gardens, monitored the reactor cores, and kept the colony's data networks running smoothly. But he rarely spoke to anyone, not because he was unfriendly, but because he found human chatter exhausting. That was until she appeared. It started with a flicker on the colony's surveillance feed. A figure, moving with unnerving grace through the abandoned observation decks. At first, Rylan thought it was a glitch. Cameras in the Outer Rim colonies often caught phantom reflections, and sometimes the ship's AI played tricks with shadows. But this figure was different. She was tall, impossibly thin, with hair that shimmered like spun silver and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies. The AI had no record of her. The colony's log had no record of her arrival. And yet she was there, walking the corridors as if she belonged. Curiosity overpowered Rylan's caution. He left the reactor bay and approached the observation deck. She turned as he entered, and for a moment the air between them felt charged, as if gravity itself had shifted. "You're not from here," Rylan said cautiously. She tilted her head, a strange smile curving her lips. "I'm as much from here as you are," she replied, her voice a melody that seemed to echo in the room, though no sound system projected it. "Then where are you from?" Her gaze flickered toward the viewport. Beyond the thin layer of reinforced glass, stars wheeled in silent patterns, constellations that Rylan had memorized, planets charted and uncharted. "I travel," she said simply. Rylan frowned. There was something human about her, but it was laced with alien precision, a geometry of thought that made his head ache to follow. Over the next few weeks, Day, the strange woman, who refused to give her name, began appearing in the most unlikely places in the greenhouse, balancing on the narrow catwalks above the hydroponic tanks, in the communications hub, watching the blinking lights with unnerving intensity. Even in his own quarters, standing silently in the corner as if she had always been there. Yet, despite the oddity, he found himself talking to her, telling her things he had never shared with another human. About his childhood on the dusty frontier world of Kestrel 4, about the loneliness that had followed him across light years. She listened, never judging, never interrupting, Day only responding in ways that made him question the limits of reality. Then came the incident in the cargo bay. A supply drone had malfunctioned, threatening to vent critical fuel into the docking corridor. Rylan was about to override the system manually, but the woman stepped forward. She extended her hands, palms glowing with an ethereal light, and the drone stilled, suspended midair as though gravity itself had bent to her will. What did you just do?" "Stabilized it," she said simply. "It was dangerous for you to intervene." It was the first time he realized she wasn't merely strange. She was something else entirely. Not malevolent, not hostile, but far beyond human comprehension. And yet he didn't feel fear. He felt relief somehow in her presence. Every day the universe seemed slightly less indifferent, less cold. One evening, as they watched the twin suns set over the jagged horizon of Kestrel 4, he finally asked the question that had been gnawing at him. "Why me? Why are you here?" She laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes through metal corridors. "Because you needed a friend," she said. "A friend, yes. In all this vastness, connection is rare, even for me." Rylan stared at her, trying to reconcile the impossible with the simple truth of her words. He realized then that friendship could exist even across incomprehensible divides, even between a human and someone, or something, that defied definition. When the colony finally received a distress signal from a nearby star system, she vanished as suddenly as she had appeared. Rylan searched the corridors, called her name over every channel, but the monitors showed only empty decks. He never saw her again. But in the quiet hours of the night, every day when the reactors hummed and the stars shone cold and distant, he felt her presence lingering like a shadow at the edge of his vision. And he understood, in a way he never had before, that humanity's greatest strength was not technology, nor weapons, nor colonies spanning the stars, but the capacity to connect, to understand, to reach out to another being, no matter how strange, and call them a friend. And for that fleeting moment, the universe seemed just a little smaller, just a little warmer because of her.